Hey, y'all, it's me, your host, Coach Pilar Arthur Sneed. Thanks for joining me here for another episode of The Last 10th. You know, and I know it's like every week, like clockwork, you know I'm going to say it, but literally, I am so excited to welcome Adina Crawford to the show. I have been following her, let's call them escapades, I guess. Via Facebook, Instagram, and different social media channels for probably, I would say, like maybe about a year or so, or maybe it could be a little less. It doesn't really matter. But we are both on the same Belega IMPI ambassador team, and I really felt like I really wanted to chat with Adina because not only is she a runner, she's a biker. She's a certified yoga instructor, which for me, having practiced in Buddhism for well over 12 years, you don't find many people of color who are doing this kind of work. So for me, I had to have her on the show. Welcome. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, where I usually like to start is I love it when people just tell me a little bit about you, and you can share anything at all that you would like.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, a little bit about me. I was born and raised in the Bronx,
Mm-hmm.
lived in Massachusetts most of my life. And I went to high school in Massachusetts, went to college in Massachusetts, and where I met the love of my life, my husband in Massachusetts. So
Okay.
it's been great. And from
Yes.
there, I worked at various jobs and landed in the hotel industry. Ironically enough, compared to
Mm,
where I am now,
mm,
and I got an offer to move down here to the DMV area, and I took that offer. And of course, time goes by. I branched out a little bit further and got into law enforcement. So I started off like in police communications,
mm.
and then I went from there to like one of these specialized vehicle recovery units, and then from
Yes.
there I went into another part. So over the years since I've been with the department, I think I've been promoted like 4 times, which is a blessing.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a blessing. And I have found my niche in the police department, just doing the things that I like to do is what help people,
Mm,
customer service, help people, because everybody has an issue. You don't know what their issue is, but you want to help them the best way you can. And providing that good level of customer service is paramount for me. And I expect the same from my employees
mm,
that I oversee.
mm.
It's truly important because we all know you've been on the phone with someone that has provided less than superior customer service.
Terrible customer service.
Yes, yes. So I ensure that my staff provides good quality customer service. I don't expect them to get beat up on the phone and take a bunch of static from someone, but I expect you to get them from point A to point B in minimal time, but providing them enough information so they can be on their way.
I absolutely love that. So, in talking about customer service, um, what would be your ideal, I guess, case study in, a customer interaction?
Wow. I've had so many. Uh, geez. I can remember one situation where a father, his son was murdered,
Mm,
and he was getting the runaround from everywhere, and he landed in our office. This is way before COVID,
mm,
and he was just so distraught, so upset because people kept sending him all over the place. I
mm,
said, "Sir, this is going to be your last stop. We are going to help you. We are going to
mm.
help facilitate your needs to get you what you need and provide you the resources that you need to have so that you can move forward." And when someone leaves feeling a sense of relief, because
Mm.
technically they're the victim, right? They lost
Yes.
a child. They're
Yes.
the victim, and you don't want them to go away again feeling like no one wants to help me and so on and so forth. So
Mhm.
that was probably one of the biggest things that I've dealt with, and those are like really on frequent occasions. Family members that have lost loved ones, or
Mm.
their loved ones have succumbed to some type of violent crime. And
Yes.
another one I do remember that actually still sticks with me to this day, a mother who lives in another state, her daughter jumped off a balcony many years
Wow.
ago. And
Wow.
she was looking for answers. I mean, they did everything that they were supposed to do on the investigative side, but
Wow.
she just needed somebody to talk to,
Sure.
And so she got me on the phone, and she told me about the book that she wrote, and she just needed somebody to hear her.
Mm.
You don't rush people off the phone when they want to be heard. She just felt a sense of relief. She actually sent me a card saying, "Thank you so much for listening to me. While it's not going to bring my daughter back,
Wow.
that you listened." So,
Wow.
and that's really one of my big things. Listen, communicate, talk,
Wow.
so important.
So, so very, very important. I have two question. One is sort of like a more practical question, I guess, about police departments, which you can answer and whenever.
Okay, okay.
But the second is knowing that you are a yoga instructor, I guess what brought you to the practice of yoga, and has the practice of yoga um, benefited you in your work? And the other question is, do most police departments have a unit such as yours, where there's like a civilian unit that's kind of responsible for working on issues?
To answer your first one, what brought me there? Okay, so over the years, I have been exposed and I have seen different things. And some
Mm,
things, in my photographic memory, I choose not to remember,
mm,
but I can clearly remember some cases that where I may have gotten called out on, and it just sticks in my mind,
mm,
right? So I felt just overwhelmed and just full every time I got a call out. It was something that was either just it was just awful.
mm,
And I found that I needed to find peace within myself. I needed to find a
mm,
space where I can have an outlet, where I can let my guard down and feel free. And
mm,
that's how I found yoga.
mm,
Yoga is very important to me. Um, it has really changed my perspective
mm,
on a lot of things. I'm more tolerant of a lot of things. And
mhm,
sometimes we have to flip our lens inward, right? And do self awareness upon ourselves to
mhm.
be able to help others. So, Pilar, if your bucket isn't filled, right,
Yes,
how are you going to fill someone else's bucket?
that's absolutely
So,
right.
you fill your own bucket with loving kindness, gratitude, empathy, emotion, love, all of those things. And
Yes,
then when somebody else's bucket is a little low, you can help fill their bucket. So
yes,
that's my thought process on the bucket filling.
yes.
Now, and it has really helped me. I feel like God has given me the heart and hands to help people
Mm,
and to help others in just their time of need, or just when they just need to talk and have a
sure,
listening ear.
sure.
So that's been important for me. And most police agencies, to answer your other question, do they have units such as this? Yes. There are several local agencies in our jurisdiction that have civilian managers that run different units. Or they may have a captain that oversees the whole unit, but
Mm,
you have your managers and supervisors and your lead workers and things of that nature.
mm,
And so it's been a interesting journey, and I do look to talk to my other counterparts and other agencies when I have questions on their business
mhm.
process and how they're doing things. So it has helped out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me about the process of coming to being a yoga instructor. And then I guess, somewhere in there, you are a runner and a biker and all the, so you've got many, many different things, but it seems like the practice of yoga has been something that has grounded you, and it has allowed you to work in these other spaces of movement. So tell me a little bit more about that.
So, doing a lot of running, your body changes, right? As we get older,
Mm-hmm.
our body changes and
Mm-hmm.
everything. I needed another place to do something. So I decided to just continuously, I was doing yoga many years ago, but I decided to be very consistent and go to this one particular studio on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And the manager in there says, you're here all the time. We would
Yeah.
love for you to take our teacher training, teacher training program. And they kept bugging me for like months and months and months. And then I finally gave into the yoga sculpt to become a certified yoga sculpt instructor.
Okay.
Weights. So that's yoga with weights. And it's a little
Okay.
high intense,
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was my first certification. And then they were like, yeah, well, that we're offering the 200-hour, we would love to have you come join us for that. We think that you would be immensely well received in the community.
Yes.
And fast forwarding, I did that.
Yes.
And then I wanted to continue to grow Pilar. I wanted to grow more. And during the pandemic, there was an opportunity that came for me to take another 200 hours.
Yes.
And I did that.
Yes.
Altogether, I got 450 hours of yoga certifications.
Wow.
And I also noticed when I was going to practice that I was the only one in that space.
Yes. There are not very many people of
Mm-mm.
color within the Eastern traditions
No.
of practice. And it's I mentioned in my intro, I've been a practicing Buddhist for well over 10 years now. And still, we're in 2020. When I
Yeah.
go to the monastery that I practice at, I'm typically one of maybe two people of color that are there. And
Wow.
this is a tradition which is it's all over the world. It's everywhere. So how were you able to navigate in that space? And there's a second part to this, because when we're talking about the Eastern traditions, I have experienced this personally. People often think that because they are practicing yoga or because they are practicing meditation, that somehow, just by osmosis, they are no longer can have the effects of racism or injustice, or that their mind is somehow free. And they no longer need to work intentionally
Oh, no.
to
So,
address those issues.
that's interesting that you brought that up, because in that space, I would see women that were maybe a size 2, 4, 6, they come in with
Mm-hmm.
their crop tops and their
Mm-hmm.
bellies exposed. And I would be there, the curvy chick in the back, and,
Mm-hmm.
doing my thing. And I was like, you know what? I need to make sure that we are well represented here.
Yes.
Make sure we're well represented in this space.
Yes.
And I noticed that throughout all of my trainings that there was either me or me and one other person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that you say that, because my mentors that were both at the studio who taught me often come on the page and on my social media page and like, we're so proud of you. We just knew you would be a great instructor, so on and so forth. But I wanted to make a difference, and make a difference how to let people know that you are welcome in this space. Yoga is just not for the one race of Caucasian people. There are, I want you there. I want us to be well represented,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I have been touting that in my whole conversation and with other people. Body positivity doesn't matter what size you are. Yoga is for everybody.
Yes.
It's for
Absolutely.
everybody.
Absolutely.
Fix your
For
head.
everybody and for everybody.
That's exactly what I was trying to go. Exactly what I was trying to say. So fix your mind and your heart and your soul to know that. Don't say I can't. Say I can and I will. That was my whole feeling during this whole teacher training. You know, I'm the only one there in a space of color and, you know, getting up and doing demos. And you have the girls that are size 2, 4, and 6 that are able to do handstands and all that. I said, my goal is to bring people to a better place when they want them leaving better than what they came in as and more confident that they can do yoga.
Whether or not they can do a handstand or a headstand or not, doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
It's what matters is the change that happens on the inside, because that goes back to what you said before, which is that if you're able to change what you have on the inside, you can now take what you have in a continuous manner, refill your cup and pour it out for somebody else.
That's right. Share that bucket. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Then what brought me more into, I started delving deeper and more into the yoga, and I'm like, you know what, I really like this. I taught the sequence of restorative, the sequence of yin yoga, which I still do the yin yoga now. I moved my focus into meditation, calming the mind, right?
Yes.
Paying attention to our thoughts and emotions, you know, oftentimes set off anxiety, stress, and all kinds of things that go on, right? And we want to be in a place where we don't want any interference during our mindfulness moment.
Yes.
So incorporating self-love, self-care, self-awareness into your own self, it helps you to really, really connect with yourself. It really does help you to connect. And I have found that I have helped others quiet the mind.
Yes. Yes. So let's talk about that. Actually, I had another guest on the show. He's also a fellow Dharma practitioner in the Buddhist tradition. Meditation is sort of the crux of Eastern traditions being Buddhist traditions, Hindu traditions, etc. So let's talk about this idea of quieting, quote unquote, quieting the mind. The way I tend to think of meditation, and the way that I've personally been trained, is that your mind is like a monkey, right? And you're jumping from thought to thought to thought. The idea of quieting your mind is not that you're going to stop thinking. It's that you're going to recognize that you are thinking.
Yeah. But you also have to know, Pilar, to release the hangups, right? Release what things are supposed to be, or what you're supposed to be, right?
That's the second part. Talk about that.
Yes.
Being present.
Be present. And when you come into a space, be present. We know we have bills to pay. We know we have to cook dinner. We know we have to go shopping. We know, right? But for that moment, if you could just detach those thoughts and quiet the mind just for your own presence. And I've had people tell me, I need help. I don't know how to be still. That's another thing. Stillness. It's something innate. You have to really try hard. You know, change the mindset.
Yes. So if you could say something to someone who is listening, who might be saying, oh, come on, meditation, like, what is that? Who does that? What would you tell them, right? What would you tell them?
Go to a quiet space, whether it's a closet, in your car, turn off everything. Softly close your eyes. And unleash any negativity that you may be feeling, right? Unleash the negativity. Take 3 nourishing, deep breaths in. Inhaling gratitude, exhaling tension, right? That's what you want to just think about that. Inhaling gratitude, exhaling tension. Fill your mind with positive thoughts. And then think about where they come from. They come from that life-sustaining muscle, Pilar. Do you know what our life-sustaining muscle is? It's our heart.
Yes.
That's where we exude emotion, compassion, empathy, love, kindness, hate,
Mm,
all of that.
mm,
So just, bring your awareness in your breath, in the
mm,
focus,
mm.
and bring your focus to your life sustaining muscle.
Absolutely.
So when you think about these little things that I can't meditate, I can't do this, sit still. When you were in class, when you were a little kid in school, they used to say, sit down, put your head down on the desk.
That's
You have
right.
kids that squirm around in the chair and you know, but just remember that your breath is always your anchor. Anytime
Absolutely.
you lose focus
Yes.
of anything,
Return to
go
the
back to
breath.
your breath. Return to the
Return to
breath.
the
That's
breath
right.
always. I
That's
do. I
right.
do. I do.
Right.
I do. I'm a really great off the cushion practitioner, but I'm not a really great on the cushion practitioner. I have lots of mindful moments throughout my day, but I don't often take time to just simply sit in a place and and focus on my breath. That's how I was trained initially, but I've tried to incorporate it into my life in a way that, oh, I'm getting all stressed out. Breathe.
Yes. Yes. But you know that meditation offers a universal value.
Oh,
I will
absolutely.
tell you, Pilar, I used to be angry, mean,
Mm,
stressed out.
mm,
Meditation has changed my life.
mm.
Meaning that meditation works for all people.
Oh,
It's not just me,
absolutely.
not just you. You
Absolutely.
have to want it, right? We all share common traits and goals and things of that nature. And it's a human experience when you can be able to really sit and focus on your breath, reflect, right? Reflect.
Hmm.
And anything that doesn't serve you,
Mm,
or anything that's blocking your energetic blockage, just send some breath to that area and just be gone.
mm,
Right?
mm.
So, I mean, there's just so much to do. And I try every time I teach a class to see where people are. I give them 10 minutes of stillness because when you come in off the road or out of your car, I don't know. Yeah, there's so much going on,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
So
That's right.
I want you to come into a place of stillness and calm and start to do a full body scan from the top of your head
Yes.
down to your feet, right?
Yes.
And then just
Yes.
know where you feel that tension or where those energetic blockages are. And just know that you can be focused. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's amazing. It's amazing. And I have found more love for meditation than anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. I love that. I love that. So tell me a little bit about your running career. When did you start running?
Oh, Pilar, I am a late bloomer, girl. I was just telling my husband this just the other day. I said, gosh, and he gets mad when I tell this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
Tell it anyway.
This was many years ago. So I'm a late bloomer. I didn't start until like my really late 30s to
Mm.
start running. And he used to say, and he calls me mama, right? He calls me
Yes.
mama.
Yes.
He said, Mama, you need to exercise. And he stopped saying stuff after a while because he was like, she's not listening. I was well
Yes.
over 300 plus pounds.
Yes. Yes.
And I finally, the light bulb went on, whatever happened. And
Mm.
he said, gosh, I didn't realize that it was never going to keep you home. So, I mean, I have just found my niche and I do me. When I run,
Yes.
I don't run to compare against person A, B, C, or D. I'm running for who? Adina Crawford. And that's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Whether I walk, whether I run, whether I jog, whether I walk, whatever I do, I'm doing it for me.
Yes.
Right. And I have enjoyed the journey of running, but I
Mm.
also like to have like a flower when it blooms. I want to learn other things,
Sure.
swim, also, I've participated in multiple indoor triathlons.
I love it.
Yes. So I found my niche in just other things to do.
Yes. In being active.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. Tell me
Absolutely.
about that. Tell me about how becoming an active individual has really changed your life. In addition to how yoga has changed your life, but just becoming active. How has that?
Awareness.
Mm,
Awareness. something I needed to do for me, right? I needed to do it for me. I was like, you know what? I need to find something else other to do than just come home and eat and not, I just needed to be involved, and I wanted to be in a community of like-minded individuals. I can remember doing a couple indoor triathlons when I was the only African American person there. Only.
Wow.
Only.
Wow.
Yes. But I found this community of runners, and I started off, actually before I even started to be a part of Black Girls Run,
Yeah.
I found a community that was through Fleet Feet Sports.
Yes.
So there, I was the only African American female.
Yes.
And I learned to do my first 5K.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then after I finished that program, they were like, "Hey, we want you to come as a mentor. Can you come back?"
What?
Yeah. I came back as a mentor, and then from there it was over.
Yes.
13.1, all these different races. I did my
Yes.
first marathon in 2017. It was the Chicago Marathon. I trained very hard for that. It was hard. Let me just say
Yes.
it's hard.
Yes. Tell me about it.
And I have Boston virtual coming up in October, and I'm just like,
Same.
why did I even sign up for that? Why?
Same.
You
Yes, I have the same, but I'll be running Chicago, so it's no big deal.
Yeah. Well, you do you, right?
I do. Sure.
You're going to go at your own pace. You're not going to worry about, unless you're a competitive runner.
Here's the thing. So yes, I'm definitely just doing me. I'm not worried so much about other people, but I think the competitor is myself. I am my biggest critic, my biggest champion, my biggest, like, you can do better. So, I want to do better than the last time that I did it, if I can. Right. So
Right.
like, there can be an element of like, oh, well, now we're not having having fun anymore. I haven't quite gotten to that point with the marathon distance where, I'm like, whatever.
I find that, the running, I needed something to offset that, right? So cycling
Yes.
has also been my jam.
Yes.
I love to ride my bike.
Yes.
I love to ride. I've gotten to this whole new thing now that, I'm helping the people that have never ridden a bike, or the people that are new to biking, or just my own thing. I have a core group of friends that I ride with, and being a Black Girls Do Bike Shero, I'm here for the community.
Yes.
I'm here for the community. So I find multiple avenues to stay active. How about that?
To stay active, but also the thread that I am hearing throughout your story is that you also find a way to stay engaged with your community, whatever community that might be, and to engage people in the activities that you're doing as well, which
Absolutely.
I think is a really beautiful thing.
And
really
what's
beautiful.
so interesting, Pilar, is that when I meet new people that come out to ride, their doubt, the feeling of defeat, all of those things, I try to dispel all of that. I said, but guess what? We all start somewhere.
Yes.
And I make sure that I am there with them every step of the way, and then giving them the kudos when they get back, because guess what? I want them to come back.
Yeah.
I don't want you to go home and hang your bike up on the bike rack and saying that was the worst group I've ever been with. We've all been there.
That's right.
We've all been there.
That's right.
So, I am community. That's the way I look at it. I feel like that God has given me the hands and heart to help others.
Yes.
So.
I love it. I love it. And you're doing it.
I
doing it every day. So the last thing that I will ask you about is being on the board of directors of the Black Girls Run Foundation. Tell me a little bit more about that organization and what the foundation is doing for women.
Wow.
For women of color.
Yes. And they're doing big things. So Black Girls Run Foundation is like a philanthropic arm, right? To be able to help overcome those issues that plague our race: diabetes, cancer, heart disease, all of those things,
Mm.
obesity, the whole gamut,
Mm.
right? And they're putting out different programs, the Walk Before You Run program, to get women active, get you off the couch, couch to 5K. There's so many different, and then the sisterhood. I can't even tell you. The dollhouse is so big. I get the DC dollhouse is like over 2,000. Wait, no, actually over 9,000 members in the DC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And with the foundation, we're using these different avenues that we feel like women could benefit to get into either running, walking, or even just being active in something. If you have to walk, you walk, and there's no judgment. There is no woman left behind with Black Girls Run.
Absolutely.
And I love being on the foundation because there's ideas and suggestions always coming to the forefront. How can we do better? What else can we do, to help? And I think this last cohort that actually is still going on is Black Girls Run and Special K cereal.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. So to get, women that and out there to tell their story and to be able to share.
Yes.
So I think it's so important that we as a community stay connected. And being on that foundation, I'm always talking about people, hey, if you want to help something in my birthday, donate to Black Girls Run Foundation, because that's going to help the next person or the next person to be able to participate in a program, Walk Before You Run, or whatever program that may come up.
Absolutely.
And it's always helping our people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. So if you had advice that you would like to give, or if there is advice that you have ever been given, what would it be?
Wow. I've been given a lot of advice. My father always used to tell me, be yourself.
You know that's the shirt I'm wearing right now?
Oh, I did not know that.
You probably can't see it, but that's what it says. Be a unicorn, always be yourself.
Oh, wow. I did not see that. That is too funny.
I'm like, oh,
yes. My father always told me, and he's from the Caribbean. My father was from the Caribbean, from Panama and then Jamaica.
Stop it.
Yeah.
My father is Panamanian.
Oh, so ¿tú eres español?
Un poquito, nada más.
Un poquito. Yeah. So my father's from Cologne, but he lived in Jamaica all his life. And he always told me, whenever I went out into the world, to the street, whatever, he said, be yourself. So that's what I am. You get all of me in all my splendor.
There you go. And I love that. You are splendiferous.
Splendiferous. I like that one. Oh, that's a good one. I haven't heard that one.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, make sure, if someone just quoted, was it a couple of weeks ago, the DC bike ride. I'm like one of their big ambassadors for there, and they did a profile story on me, and they said, meet Adina and the whole package. I'll come as a whole package.
There you go. You are the whole package. I love it. I love it. So is there anything that you wanted to share that I didn't ask, or that we haven't talked about? Definitely, please feel free to share.
I just want to tell people, if you're apprehensive about starting any type of sport, say it's yoga, do your research, find a studio that is going to make you feel welcome, that you will return again. If you're finding something else that you want to do in the running community, find your running community. Know that I'm speaking only because I've been a staunch supporter of Black Girls Run, that is a sisterhood, truly is a sisterhood. If you are cycling, find your cycling group. Not everybody meshes with everyone, but I found mine through Black Girls Do Bike. And, it's good to branch out and meet other people. I'll never forget this, that I still laugh about this, because JL Alexander, who's the CEO and owner of Black Girls Run, always says to me, she said, you're like a chameleon. And she didn't say it in a bad way. She just said, I'm just like, you just never know, right?
Yes.
And have served on different committees, different boards. I am now an REI partner.
Yes.
So I'm super excited about that. And I
Congrats.
write for Fleet blog. So I do a lot of yoga advice there through Fleet.
Congrats.
And then the HoneyStinger Athletic Advisory Committee.
Congrats.
Yes. So I've been involved with that, and bringing more diversity into HoneyStinger is so important because it's always looked at as a white sport. When they post on their page, it's always the white sport. You know, where are we? Where are we showing up?
That's right.
So that's been the conversation. So get involved in something, find your niche, find your passion, and really delve into it, right? To cultivate compassion and passion for something, have your whole heart in it.
Absolutely. All good advice, all wonderful things. I hope everyone can take something out of this conversation. Adina, thank you so very much for joining me on the show today.
Pilar, thank you so much for having me. I am so grateful.
Absolutely. And because you are a practitioner of just the mind and heart, I would like to give you a little bow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.